Okay, so for as long as I can remember, I've always been interested in Diary of a Wimpy Kid, if you couldn't tell by my channel. The first movie came out in 2010, and I think I remember seeing glimpses and images of it at that time. It wasn't until around 2nd grade that my love really started to shine. I watched every movie, collected as many books that I could, and overall, I was a pretty big fan. And even though those exist, I can still call myself to this day a Diary of a Wimpy Kid fan. And so in this series I wanted to tackle each movie starting with the first one to see if they still hold up to this day. And with enough said, it's time to begin. So the movie opens up with us staring into Roderick's gorgeous eyes. Hi Roderick.
Oh nigga, you gay!
Anyway, Roderick wakes up Greg telling him to get ready for school, and we go through a montage of Greg getting ready. Nigga, you are not him. Stop. So anyway, turns out it was a prank by Roderick. School doesn't start for another week.
Greg, what are you doing up making all this noise? It was Roderick! He woke me up! He changed my clock! But I swear, he was just...
Go to bed.
What is that smell? I can't even identify it.
You know, I'm really glad that everyone's book accurate, because just like the books, Greg's parents are fucking idiots, because how are you falling for this? Okay, so before I forget, I just want to take some time to appreciate the movie incorporating the actual book drawings and everything in the actual movie. Like, it really is amazing, and it gives the movie its own sense of uniqueness. Okay, moving on. So, our main character, little bitch, I mean Greg Heffley, starts explaining about how he's writing in his diary so he can be rich and famous. You know, the usual spiel that a main character of his caliber, or in this case a sociopath, gives before things go horribly wrong. Hey Greg, why are you such a little bitch? So we move along to Greg waking up and getting ambushed by Roderick not showering for 3 days, and he starts giving the rundown of how to survive middle school or some shit, which basically equates to, basically bro, just don't exist. Oh, and stay away from Rowley. He's eating breakfast with his family. Bro, who gives a fuck? Moving on. We enter hell, I mean middle school, and yeah, this definitely seems like an accurate depiction of middle school. Moving on. So we enter the classroom and Rowley steps in.
Remember how I said Rowley wasn't middle school ready? Well, there you go. Hola, amigo. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? What are you wearing? My family just got back from Guatemala. It's my serape. Nice, huh?
I'm sure he'll be fine.
There's Bryce Anderson. Just be cool. Hey, Bryce. Yeah, hey, Bryce. Cute butt.
Okay, so maybe he won't be fine. So we cut to PE class.
Hey, guys. Wanna see my secret freckle?
Ah! Get it off!
I'm Coach Malone, and I am your gym teacher. PE is as much a part of my life as waking up in the morning and going to the bathroom. I live and breathe physical education.
Yeah, right, fat boy. Anyway, we cut to one of my favorite scenes. So, Chirag explains to Greg and Rowley the history of the cheese touch and just like the AIDS pandemic. So, my lawyers have advised me not to make that joke, but just like most things, caring is not my way of life. So anyway, just like that pandemic, mass hysteria walked in and logic walked right out.
Then one day, a kid named Darren Walsh made the biggest mistake of his life.
Wash your hands! It's that simple! Anywho, first day of school's over. I'm sure it can't get any worse.
Hey, Greg! You want to come over and play?
Never mind, it can. So, Greg and Rowley are going through Roderick's room, going through his yearbook and shit, and this is where Roderick walks in and threatens to kill him.
And now, Greg, since Mom and Dad are gone, I'm going to kill you. Literally, kill you!
And somehow this leads to a series of events which ultimately lead to Greg pissing on Roderick. Nice. Anyway, we cut to Rowley and Greg looking at clubs to join, and this is where I start to realize that Greg's kind of a bum. Like, this nigga does not want to do any work. So anyway, we're introduced to Patty Farewell, and we're introduced to her threatening Greg and shit, and we're wondering, damn, what did Greg do to make her that mad?
Patty is a fatty, has a face just like a ratty.
Wow, I guess some things never change. So then Greg's talking to Angie, and oh yeah, I forgot to introduce her. So Angie Stedman is what I consider one of the most underutilized characters in this book. Like, she's kinda like Greg, but she's more cool, nicer to talk to, and less of a sociopath. Like, low-key, we should make a book about her, make her the main character. But anyway, they're talking, and Greg's talking about being in the paper, and she makes the same exact face I made when he said that, because spotting bullshit from a mile away really isn't hard to do. Hey, you, yes you, question. Do you want to see Greg get his ass handed to him in wrestling by Fregley? Yes? Okay, here you go.
Don't worry, Fregley. I'll take it easy on you. Hey, I wasn't ready.
Nobody's keeping score, but that was a sweet speed takedown, Fregley!
So Greg and Rowley are talking about Greg bulking up, and we see a scene that's most definitely not going to foreshadow Rowley's fate. Anyway, Greg wants to gain some extra pounds so he can join a higher weight class, and what does he do? Does he A, train for weeks and ultimately gains the extra pounds? B, accept the fact that he gets his ass handed to him and train so he can fight somebody in his own weight class? Or C, cheats himself into a higher weight class and gets his ass handed to him by the opposite gender? If you guessed the last option, congratulations, you've been following along quite well. Roll the scene.
Come on. What you waiting for, huh? Don't be such a wuss, Hefley. Make your move! She's a girl. Where do I grab her?
So Greg finally makes the paper. I mean, not in the way he wanted to make the paper, but hey, he made the paper. And this egomaniac really moved himself from 19 to 72. Bro, you're not even in the top 150. Stop! So anyway, we cut to a teacher playing this movie about a guy learning to just be himself. Gee, I wonder who needs to listen to that the most right now. Anyway, the little bitch decides that his major takeaway was not to be himself and allow Rowley to be himself, but to change Rowley into himself. Boy, you know, I swear, you really can't make this shit up. Anywho, Greg changes him and it works.
Yeah, hey, Bryce. Cute butt.
Okay, so maybe it didn't work. So Greg and Rowley go trick-or-treating and get picked on, and being the certain skin color that he is, Greg decides to utter the lines.
I saw your plates! We're calling the cops! Uh-oh.
Damn, what a snitch-ass nigga. Now, I could blame Greg, or I could blame the 3 teenagers chasing 2 middle schoolers into their grandma's house, all because they got threatened. Man, all of y'all are lame. Like, all y'all are some lame-ass niggas.
12 seconds later.
Nobody needs to be a hero! Whoa!
Bro, I'm trying to root for you here, man, but like, you making this shit so hard, bro. Anyway, they run away and live for another day. Wash your hands! It's that simple. Dude, I'm telling a cockroach to wash the hands. Okay. So Greg gets the idea to join the safety patrol, and I'm positive he can't fuck this up.
Just remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
Like I said earlier, I'm sure he won't fuck this up.
Whoa, is that Coco? Sorry, safety patrol only. Sorry.
Hey, remember earlier when they were playing that game with Rowley on the tricycle and Greg throwing the football at him? Well, turns out that was a terrible idea and Rowley ends up suffering the consequences.
Okay, Rowley. Come on. Get up. Shake it off.
Lovely. And then in the next scene, this asshole tries to take credit for breaking his arm, all because Rowley is getting attention from the girls. Like, bro, you could have gotten attention too, bro. You could have gotten a girly too, bro. But there were like 2 girls over there. All you had to do was walk over, talk to your boy Rowley. He could have put in a good word. Or just walk over and talk. And you fucked it up. You fucked it up, Greg. Damn it. Moving on. So one of the kids in the class gets the cheese touch or AIDS or something, and that leads to an opening spot in the school newspaper for the cartoon. And this leads to one of the best phrases in the whole franchise.
So I was thinking we could do something like this. Oops, I stepped in a puddle. At least it's not an acid puddle. Oi, oi, oi! It is an acid puddle! Zooey mama! Zooey mama.
Greg hates the joke. Rowley likes the joke, and Greg decides that if Rowley likes it so much, he should use it. I'm sure this won't backfire in his face. So Greg's out walking the children. I don't think that's how that was supposed to sound. Anyway, he's out walking the children and he thinks he sees that truck with the kids that were chasing them from earlier, and he gets a genius idea. I'm positive he can't fuck this up. Yeah, I was wrong. He fucks this up. I don't even know why I had faith in him. I'm deviating from that a little to talk about Zooey Mama and that Rowley's comic won. Yay! Like I said earlier, I'm sure it wouldn't backfire Greg. Going back to Greg walking the children, Rowley ends up taking the blame for what Greg does, and this is where I pondered the question. What does Greg do from here? Does he A, take responsibility and own up to what he did? B, let Rowley take the blame but make it up to him somehow? Or C, throw Rowley under the bus, letting him take all the blame and not doing anything to fix it? If you chose C, congrats. I'm very proud of you. Look at you following along. In the end though, he ends up telling the truth, but it's too little too late and it leads to the best scene in the movie.
You know what, Greg? You're not a good friend. Whoa. How could you even say that? I'm a great friend. If you were a great friend, you would have told Mr. Winsky the truth. Okay, one thing. You can't get mad about you only care about yourself. You hated my cartoon. You made fun of my clothes, you disrespected Joshy. You broke my hand and you didn't even seem sorry. That broken hand was the best thing that ever happened to you. Don't call me. Don't come by my house. We're done.
Good riddance. Anywho, Rowley is now friends with Colin, and honestly he's a better friend than Greg. So upon seeing them hanging out, Greg gets the bright idea to make friends with Fregley. I can't even begin to tell you why this is such a bad idea. 3 minutes in and this nigga wants to go home, and honestly, I couldn't blame him. Anywho, we cut to Greg trying out for the school play, and damn, this boy got pipes. And he almost gets in, until...
Greg Heffley was suspended from the school safety patrol. How can you trust him? With the lead role in the play. He can't be Dorothy. I'm Dorothy.
All right, Patty, calm down.
I'm Dorothy. I am. My mother is the president of the PTA. She can ruin your life.
Just an idea.
You know, at first I could understand why she was upset, but at this point, she doing too much, bro. She doing a lot. Like, she's doing a much, just a little bit.
The trees get to throw apples at Patty Feta. Haven't you seen the movie?
Actually, this literally might go well.
Wait, we don't get armholes? How are we gonna throw apples at Dorothy without armholes?
You don't need armholes because nobody's throwing any apples.
Oh my fucking god. Can one thing go right in this movie? For once. Please.
Bubby! Bubby!
Well, I guess not. So Patty starts her bullshit again and they start fighting on stage, and honestly, this shit's hilarious. So there's a next plot with the mommy and me dance and Greg starts crashing out, so he does what any sane person would do. Sabotage.
I need to talk to you inside, now. What is this?
It's not mine.
It was in your backpack.
No, it was in my room.
Does owning this magazine make you a better person?
No.
Did it make you more popular at school?
Yes. No.
How do you feel about having owned this type of magazine?
Ashamed.
Nice. Do you have anything you want to say to women for having owned this offensive magazine?
I'm sorry, women.
And you know, even after all of that, he still ends up going to the dance and he still doesn't have Rowley as a friend. So realistically, all for nothing. Anyway, Greg tries to make friends with Rowley again at the dance and he fails. And Rowley and his mom absolutely steal the show. I'm talking about high top dance, and I swear I'd bust these moves out myself too. I can't lie, the moves are a bit cringy, but it's for its time and it's pretty nice. We cut back to school and Rowley is simply asking Greg back for his game so him and Colin can play. And what do you think Greg's response is? Does he... Man, who am I kidding? Like, who the fuck am I kidding? You already know how this ends. He's gonna start being a little bitch. Like, nigga, just give him back the game. What's wrong with you? So they both get into a fight, if you can even call it that. And that's when Pete and his gang pull up. And they make Rowley do the most absolute grotesque thing I've ever seen.
Give me the wide one. Let's go. Pick it up.
But...
Pick it up. Now eat it.
No.
Eat it or I'll shove the entire thing down your throat.
Disgusting. Anyway, after that monster of a scene, Greg decides to do something right for once in his life and take one for the team.
Oh my god! Rowdy Jefferson ate! I ate the cheese!
Then he goes on this whole speech about, you know, like not fitting into societal norms or some shit. And like, I absolutely agree, but you're talking to a bunch of 12-year-olds, so I think you know how this is gonna go already.
Everyone else who's sick of it, step forward and join me! Cheese touch! Greg Heffley has the cheese touch!
Riley and Greg are now best friends again. Patty unknowingly gets the cheese touch. And you know, everybody lives happily ever after. And that was the movie. Honestly, the movie was better than I remember, and it still holds up to this day. There are a few things I couldn't get down with, like some of the cringy jokes that gave me secondhand embarrassment, but it was made for its time, so I understand. Also, Patty was way more whack than I remember, and Greg was even worse than I remembered, literally. But overall, this is still a solid movie, and I would absolutely recommend this one to any parent who has a kid, and anybody who just wants a movie where they can turn off their brains and just relax and enjoy. I honestly give this movie a 9 out of 10. But I'd love to hear what you guys thought of the movie in the comment section, and be sure to like and subscribe so that you guys can stay in the loop whenever I upload stuff like this or just upload in general. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.